celestial rising, good afternoon, good night to the beautiful entity watching this video. It's your divine being, divine messenger, and we're back with another message. And understand, we are at 4,540 something subscribers, I believe. I may be wrong, but either way it goes, keep on subscribing, man. Welcome to the family, welcome to heaven. Over here we are all about family. You know, there really is no niche or niche, whatever there is over here, because we just post whatever we want. All this is to help you elevate and to help you transcend your dualistic subconscious thoughts or your patterns that you live through every single day through your habits unconsciously. And we are here to build and to better ourselves. And somebody came up with a great question, by the way. And before I begin into this video, you know, I do say this a lot, but most of you appreciate it. But I really appreciate the people who do watch my videos, you know, when I post daily or when I post whenever I want. But of course, the people that know I've been posting daily down here. And I really appreciate you for watching, because you don't have to watch these videos. And I go through so much and you go through so much as well. And what's crazy, it's like, it's 3:11 on the clock. Yeah, 3:11 on the clock, crazy. And you're probably watching this at whatever time it is, but no matter what, make sure you keep on working hard. And if you're a creative influencer, if you are an entrepreneur, never give up on yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself, and appreciate the people who are rooting for you behind closed doors. They may not express it in the comment section. They may not express it in your DMs. They may not call you. They may not tell you, but they really appreciate your work. And a lot of people are shy, and a lot of people feel as if they're not seen through your perception. So no matter what, make sure you're always nice to people. Make sure you're always loving. It doesn't matter how much you think you know, or how much you want to know, or how much you have learned. You have to learn that you have learned nothing. And when you learn nothing, just know nothing is something. So the person that asked me this question, how can you reach God when you are God? For one, it's like basketball. They tell you start reaching. Why? You're either going to commit a foul or you're going to get blown by and scored on. That's exactly what happens when you reach for God. Why are you, the creator, reaching for creators? Or a creator pretending to be creators in their creation? What's the point of that? There's no need for you to be reaching for God, because for one, you're reaching for Satan's ignorance, because our creator would never call itself God in the first place. And that's where the illusion or the spell comes to play. Because we have to understand that our big brother and big sister, excuse me, they call themselves this title because this is exactly how they're able to collectively manipulate all of our energy inside this toy box. You see how I'm collecting my thoughts? That's better, divine. Great job. Because as they are collectively doing this is exactly why people fear many things. They'll be in depression, they'll be sad, they'll be anxious, they'll be worried, and deaf as well. When all these negative frequencies are in the same exact room, when they're all in the same exact room having a conference call, they're all resonating at the same lower consciousness that God would be resonating with. Because when you think about this title comes from a lower perspective, because in the afterlife, in the astral realm, in the quantum realm, there is no God, because it's everything. It's infinite. It's an infinite vacuum of rooms in space, meaning you can open up the door and look down at your higher self, looking into the vacuum of space, looking into a room called space out of your mind, because God is out of your mind in matter, because you do matter in carbon. So you are the dark finding your light. That's what life is all about. So if you see a dark construct, you are literally that white construct or that being or that light inside of a dark realm of existence with nothing in it but demonic programs. You are that light walking through hell with no one else guiding you but the Almighty Creator. Excuse me. That's exactly why when you're going through life, when you're walking through life, when you're skipping, when you're working, when you're growing up, do not expect a handout from demonic programs. Imagine being a man or a woman asking for a handout from a man or a woman that was born from demons per se. And I hate using that terminology, but We are governed by demons. We are born into demonic frequencies, and we are born into hell. This is a hell realm. Let's not forget that. But you know what heaven looks like, because heaven is within your mindset, just like hell. And if we are in Satan's playground, we have to understand that we are playing for a reason. We were meant to come down here for a reason, because we think that this life is fun. But what is fun in hell? Not shit. That's exactly why if you look around, this world is not what we used to know. There wasn't a hell for us, because that's too low for our energy. Who wants to mourn every single day? How is it good to mourn every single day? How is it nighttime to a light being? What is light to a dark being? What is day and night? What are these constructs that we like? What is food? What is water? What is work? What is school? What is a job? Meaning that when you are reaching for God, you're reaching for ignorance. Never reach for it, because once you go within, you don't have to reach for anything. That's why when you're playing basketball, you play defense straight up. Move your feet, lateral quickness. Then you can't be beat. It's angles. It's all geometrical shapes. It's how you determine what angle to go into. Don't get beat left. Don't get beat right. If somebody can go left and right, play them straight up. So when you see your demons, like when you see God in front of you, play him straight up. Don't be scared, because he can do all things. That's what happens when you have an all-seeing eye open, because you're illuminated to enlightenment. And the thing is, too, Lucifer was so enlightened and is enlightened to the point to where it was able to construct a title or a spell that people reach for every single day. People will come up with these different videos, or come up with different topics, contexts, to go viral, to talk about, or actually just mockery. Like people who say God, you're mocking the creator. And I just mocked the creator by saying God as well. And I still did it again. But I'm forgiven already. But I just use that terminology because that's what people are raised upon. Our Messiah was never called anything, because demons, the mind itself, the algorithm, the script, when it's not used to seeing divinity in its truest form, we're going to be attached by calling it a name that we think is ordained by God. And that's where our Creator doesn't even care what we call it, because it knows our lower consciousness. And many people are never going to wake up into their higher self, because consciously we were never speaking anyways. And to understand what God is, God was never a word, was never a title. It just wasn't anything, but it's everything. That's why the Almighty doesn't have to speak to be heard, because it can be heard without saying a word. It can be heard without saying a word. But if we are made in that image, then why are we saying words? And if we are saying words, what would you call yourself? Because angels don't talk either, till they become what? Angels don't talk till they become what? So if we are angels, why are you speaking? If you're speaking to other angels, who are you in conference with? Who are you speaking to? These are spells made from the Almighty's lower self, subconsciously, but you still put your trust in God. Not saying you peace to the gods, but to anybody who is reaching for God, stop reaching, because you're going to get fouled or you're going to get blown by. Never reach. Play God straight up. Go within. You know how to guard God. Because for one, that title is Satan's enlightenment or higher self. If it's Elohim, Yahuah, now we're talking some French. Now we're talking a different language. Now we're talking hieroglyphs. Now we're talking common sense. But the moment you put God into the equation, be prepared to be enslaved. Because Lucifer, Satan, Beelzebub, Jezebel, Incubus, Succubus, you and I, any title calling itself God, be prepared for spiritual warfare, because our Creator never said it was God, but I am that I am. Just like that burning bush. I am that I am. Go tell the people down there at the bottom of the mountain, I am that I am, sent you to let you know what you need to be doing with these commandments. And that's the thing as well. Even with the commandments come from, the commanding of Lucifer's ego, because it already knew we were marked by beasts that came from beasts that were splicing our DNA to form other beasts. Werewolves, pigs, doesn't even matter. Many of these different species aren't even real people. And because of that, we had to coexist with them. And once people understand the commandments come from the subconscious thought process of titles or spells. And once this is an indicator into our enlightenment, we got to understand that our commandments come from the 42 ideologies of Ma'at. These are basically ancient Kemet teachings. When people are able to understand these teachings, they'll be able to understand that they decided, you know what, we're not going to follow 42 ideals that come from our mother, because they're obviously emasculated males that are submissive behind closed doors, where they show their dominance into the public so that people can be submissive to their dominance that they pretend to have. Once they did away with these 42 and they made up their own 10, that's where they decided to come up with these different stories to get people to understand what they think God is. Not knowing that God is enslaving humanity since day one by you even believing a timeline or a year or time in its existence, when time doesn't even exist in its own existence. If you walked up to time, if you asked time, what time is it? It wouldn't even give you the correct answer, because for one, there is no time to time. I hope you have a great day, God and Goddess.